Welcome to another episode of Wrinkles in the Crease, where we take a look at the stories in hockey and iron out the details. I am your host, Zachary Morgan. I have with me, as always, my co-hosts, Natasha Gershon and Trevor, less than real deal, Trevor Neal. Guys, what's going on this week?
That's stuck every episode, and I love it.
There's a good
I'm starting to get called that in real life.
There's a good cadence to it.
Yeah. It's the play on James Neal.
It's perfect because you are related to him, as clearly described by the spelling of his name that I'm pointing at. That no one's pointing at.
James Neal's my brother. I didn't get any of his game checks.
Allegedly. Anyway.
Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly. But speaking of game checks, there's a guy who won probably a day after we recorded the last episode, I think is when the Bo Horvat trade went down. So just to cover that really quickly.
It was pretty blockbuster.
Very. So Bo Horvat traded to the New York Islanders in exchange for Anthony Beauvillier, their second round pick, which is some Finnish name that I can't think of, and a conditional first.
Ati Ratu or something like that.
That one, yes.
Yeah.
I nailed that.
That one.
Okay, until one Finnish person listens and just rips us apart.
I stand by.
Rati.
Yeah. So,
have you guys heard the cap hit of it? Because it's been harder to find.
No, the cap hit, as far as I know, the signing is as
I have it.
You have the cap hit because the signing is very new. It's like 30 minutes old. If I had to take a guess for Bo Horvat, what's his current cap hit?
Okay, pull up his cap friendly. His cap friendly is already going to have it, so be careful. 5.5.
5.5. I know what the open market is. Bo Horvat, his value can't be higher than $8 or $9 million. It can't be higher than that. But
Natasha,
these are the Islanders.
Those are numbers.
I'll guess 8.8. Sure. I'll guess 8.8.
Natasha?
I don't know, maybe like 8.2.
8.5. Zach, you're freak. Both of you are freakishly good at getting these contracts right. 8.5 over.
That
8.
makes sense.
That makes sense.
That's a good deal. It's a really
that's a really good deal.
But
man, you know what's going to be great?
Don't get it.
You know what's going to be great though? When the Islanders get all these like great young prospects that they're going to draft, that they've been developing, and they can have them play alongside Bo Horvat. It's going to be so great. Does anyone want to tell me when the Islanders' next first-round pick is?
Ooh.
It's not.
I'm not going to look.
I'll give you a hint. It's. I don't know either, but I guarantee you it is not within the next 3 years.
Where have they all gone?
It's going to be a while.
It will be a while. Let's see.
No, they have the 2024.
They do have the
2024 and 2025.
Okay, they do have those picks. Good. Okay. So there is still
not good.
It's also Lou.
Yeah, so those picks picks are pretty much available.
Okay, why did they make the Horvat trade?
Well, this is the Islanders
I don't know
far
why they made
from being some sort of like contender. Not last year, but 2 years. But before last season, they're
coming off of being a Stanley Cup contender.
They're not doing that this year, though. That is not what's happening.
No.
So the idea is, I guess you add. The thing is, you needed a scorer for Matt Barzal. Bo Horvat's a lot of things, but he's, in my opinion,
he's not a goal scorer guy.
He's a setup guy, which is great. He's a great setup guy.
Scoring? Who's in charge of putting the puck in the net for the Islanders? Was it Beauvillier? I'm gonna laugh my ass if it was Beauvillier.
Andersley.
That's no disrespect to Andersley.
No disrespect to Andersley. He's done a hell of a job as captain of the team.
But
I'll let you go.
Sometimes
I just don't get it.
Sometimes
because I heard that they're prepping to play Carolina in the playoffs. They're hoping they sneak in and they think they can take them. But I've also heard that the Islanders' identity used to be low event hockey. They've lost that identity. Now it's just they can't score. Those are two different things.
Oh, geez, guys. A Lou Lamoriello team relying on low event hockey?
Oh, my God.
I'm shook.
It's almost like this ruined the NHL before. We're still recovering.
Stop it.
From Lou Lamoriello.
No, we're not. Everything's fine. Everyone's
Yeah,
fine
we are.
here. We're no one's still recovering from Lou Lamoriello. Okay, Lou Lamoriello hasn't done lasting damage to any NHL team. There isn't a contract that was really, really badly signed that was totally against the that tried to circumvent the cap or
Patrick
the CBA.
Marleau.
Yeah, that's the one.
The
Devils
Marleau
are
contract.
the Devils still are paying the recapture penalty on Ilya Kovalchuk.
And will be till I die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what the logic was in this trade. Clearly, the Islanders feel like they still have a chance. They're a very old team, and they only got older by making this trade. But you have a guy. You have a guy in net that you need to put in front. That you need to put a team in front of.
Yeah.
Ilya Sorokin's the real deal.
What was up with those rumors that they were going to get the Horvat? They got him and then trade him again. What was there any?
There were
reason they
some.
would
I've
do
heard that, but
that they were going to deal him again if it didn't
one
work.
second.
That they're going to give him a little trial run and then trade him if it didn't
That
click.
would be
I don't
so
understand that either.
This moment.
I don't either. I don't know.
And I liked Beauvillier as an Islander. I thought, why do the Canucks need Beauvillier either?
You know who is really going to miss Anthony Beauvillier? Matt Barzal.
Yeah.
They're best friends.
They're
They're best friends. So Matt Barzal was involved. He went to a French immersion school. So he is completely fluent in French, and Beauvillier, as you might imagine, is from Quebec.
A name like Anthony Beauvillier is very francophone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So both players involved in this trade are being traded away from their best friend and have made it public knowledge that they are not happy about. Or I don't know about Villiers making it publicly known, but Horvat was not shy to say he did not want to be traded here.
No, he didn't. But he also was.
He also don't want to play for.
Who signed JT Miller?
Make a decision.
Who did that? Was that Linden? Did Linden sign that, or was that Who did this?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. JT Miller's contract is causing so many problems for that team.
All JT Miller's fault. It might be.
I mean, I'm struggling, man. I'm really struggling here because if that contract doesn't happen, then you re-sign Bo Horvat. Vancouver keeps their captain.
No, the new contract was signed by Alvin, the new GM.
Okay.
That was I'm the new GM of the Vancouver Canucks. What am I going to do first? Let me get JT Miller locked up until I die.
If anyone wonders how Peter Chiarelli keeps or was continuing to get NHL jobs for a while, I mean,
being a GM is not an easy job.
It's not.
People play the NHL game and be like, I could do this. It's so much more complicated than that.
Yeah, it's really complicated because I don't know. A lot of people who play armchair GM using the NHL 23, for example, just as their reference point. The problem is those games they don't follow an eye test. People do an eye test. And yeah.
And we watch JT Miller and go, that guy's not an NHL player.
Well, I think he's an NHL player, but I don't think he's playing very well. I also don't think his attitude is good. His attitude clearly is not very...
It's worse than the contract.
Yeah, his attitude
and that's
is worse
hard
than
to
his
do.
contract.
Gosh, yeah. I could complain about the Canucks for hours. I want to hire a Canucks writer for BSP just so I could talk to them. Are you okay? Do you need a hug?
They're not okay.
You want to hire a writer so you can give them therapy? Did I hear that right?
Just give them therapy.
I think, what are they like? As a Canucks fan, what is your general and if a Canucks fan somehow listens to this, what are you thinking right now? When you go to a game, what are you expecting to see? Anything?
Nothing good.
What are you excited for?
Probably.
Who's the guy they just re-signed? That's apparently pretty good. Kuzmenko? Is that it?
Yeah, Andrei Kuzmenko.
Yeah. Cool.
He's good, I guess. I don't know.
Zach's about to say something. It's loading. He's putting the words together.
I'm just at a loss for that entire concept. Really, we need to set up a hotline for you. Just have people of all all hours
Yes.
of the night calling Trevor
We
Neal.
need
Let's do that as a
fucking
podcast bit. It's just
Yeah,
like, let's
Trevor
bring
Neal
fans on,
desperately
but-
wants to get his
Put your
thumb
number on the screen and they'll call you.
Yep.
That is a
Just
lot of
come on
power.
down to Texas and we'll talk about your feelings.
Oh, no. I'm
No,
sorry.
not Texas.
No, that's too much. That's
We
too
need a
much.
phone
You
call.
want to hire them so they can talk about their problems with Vancouver, but then you also want to bring them down to Texas? No, come on. No. There's way.
They would need more therapy after that.
Yeah.
Wow.
After all the nothing they see going from whatever airport is closest to you.
I've told you this so many times. There's
I
an
know.
airport that flies to DFW that is 3 minutes from my house. They take off above my house.
They
And we have
also store their
infrastructure.
planes in a barn.
Yeah, they kind of do.
There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. But I just want to let people.
They're hangars, but they're small hangars.
There is nothing wrong with that. It is.
And it also doubles as a private airport. But you can fly to Dallas. Used to be able to fly to Vegas too, but yeah. In Houston, it's a real airport.
It's a real airport.
It's got one room,
It's a real airport. It'll take you to various places all over the country,
such as Dallas.
such as Dallas. But will it take me to Miami or the Miami
Well,
area?
you can fly to Dallas and then to Miami.
Okay, well, that is an option. That is an option. It's
that
a better
is-
option than flying to
You can
Dallas
get
and driving
anywhere
to
in the
Miami.
world from Dallas. You can get anywhere in the world from Dallas.
Excellent. Well, Dallas is international, but Miami International definitely was welcoming a few NHL players over the weekend, as it was All-Star Weekend.
And none of them wanted to be in Miami.
No, not a one.
Not a single one.
Nope.
I feel worse for the guys who play for the Panthers, who just the only time they don't want to be in Florida.
I feel for
Everybody.
That's fair.
I don't know.
All your buddies going on vacations, like they're going to the Bahamas. No, you got to stick around in Sunrise for a few extra days so you can stand on the beach and talk to media.
Yeah,
That sounds awful.
Yeah, no. Now that you bring it up, Jack Hughes probably very badly wanted to be in Mexico with Jesper Bratt, Nico Hischier, Timo Meyer,
And Jesper Bratt's agent.
God bless. So yeah, definitely. It's just a mess. The whole weekend was a mess. The skills competition was awful.
Did I make the right call in this being the first skills comp I've missed in several years?
Yeah,
Yes.
you did.
Probably.
Because
Whoever-
last year I usually really like the skills comp because Trevor Zegras last year doing the whole dodgeball bit is still a clip we replay.
Yeah, that was great.
Fantastic.
That's true. That's a highlight.
That's
reel.
what it's all about. But this year it seemed like what I've heard is that they really freaked out from the 22% drop in viewership and they just went, we need to appeal as many people as possible.
Which they did not do.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't appeal to anybody, but they were trying.
Yeah.
They really tried, and I feel like that's part of the problem here. They tried very hard to give Mitch Marner a personality during the breakaway penalty shot, whatever.
It did not work. Even though
It did not work. Nothing he.
Which is hard because Mitch has a
Mitch
personality.
has an actual personality.
But you have to let him be his personality. You can't write this personality for him. Mitch Marner is not Miami. I don't know what else to tell you. Why are you trying to make him Miami? He's not
Mitch Marner is a good Canadian boy. That's his personality. He's a good Canadian boy that gets his Tims. That's it.
That being said, those skates he was rocking, those were beautiful.
Those
skates were
the best part of the
beautiful.
whole weekend.
The pads that
all of the goalies had except Soros. All of them tried so hard to make these pretty pads.
yeah, no, some of the goalie pads were really nice looking. Now Connor Hellebuck had really good looking true
And then
set.
UC
Mark had a
Soros showed
really
up
nice
in
helmet.
bright yellow Predators pads.
He had to
Amen.
rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
He didn't have the
Oh,
money.
yes.
He's like, you're making me go to Florida and you want me to get new pads. I'm doing one
He's
of
like,
the
no,
other
I'll
boys.
The only smart thing that was done throughout the skills competition was to have PK Subban as your on ice guy, because
True. PK kept it alive pretty much. Without
PK keeps it alive because
Poor
PK
guy.
for the longest time, and it's still the case. He has the best personality that on TV
He has
of
such
any
good
player.
chemistry with everybody.
Yeah,
You could get him to do a show with Connor McDavid, and Connor McDavid might look interesting.
yes,
He
Because
tried to make Connor look interesting, and it almost worked for 0.2 seconds.
It almost did. Look, having
He
PK
gets
out
hockey
there,
and he gets media.
having PK out there was the smartest thing they could have done. He knows how to bring personality on the ice. He knows how to show it off the ice.
True.
It is ideally, you would hope that some of these current crop of players that were there would have that same type of magnetism, but
They probably
it's just not
do,
there.
but they're being held back by how dumb the event is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you had done PK Subban on the ice as your personality in the same, I mean, they did it with Pat Maroon this year, but I don't even know why it comes up. But if they had done a similar format to last year's with the skills competition with just PK Subban as your personality, that would have been fine. That would have been better.
Yeah.
The fact that they reacted in the way they did, changed it up the way they did, it was just messy. Everything about it was messy. I hated how it was. Okay, we're gonna do the first part of this one, and then we'll do the second. Then we'll do the finals after everything.
Go to the pre-recorded stuff, and then come back. And
no, like
it's awful.
They need to do it chronologically.
They do.
Everything the
At
skills
least,
comp should do.
at least do that chronologically. Like, I couldn't care less about anything else.
I appreciate the effort to do these kind of events that tailor towards the individual market. Like it's an interesting concept, but nothing for the skills comp should be pre-recorded. If we're doing we're trying to help build this market, do stuff in the arena during the skills competition. It's really weird to do these cuts to like, oh, this happened like yesterday.
And also the pre-recorded stuff gets leaked also. So like you already know what happens with the pre-recorded stuff before it's even aired.
This year's stuff seemed to be better than the Vegas stuff. I hated the Vegas pre-recorded
found Vegas
bits.
really bland. This was a bit more interesting to me. But I also haven't really watched All-Star Game comps or anything before. Like, I would just watch, like, highlights or something later because who wants to sit through the whole thing? But I thought this time I was like, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'll just sit for the whole 3 hours. And then the NHL decided to post the whole thing on YouTube like a day later. So I didn't even have to do that.
I might have to go back and watch the whole thing.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't
You tried?
I tried. I missed it. I missed the skills competition because I had families in town, so I went to
literally anything else to do.
Yeah, I had literally anything else to do. I had to wash my dog's ass again, so that was something I did.
We're not going to expand on that.
No, I'm not. So I then Saturday or yesterday before I go out to the event I did, I threw it on ESPN because screw it. I want to see. I want to see the hardest shot. I want to see. I want to see.
We're excited for breakaway. I was excited for the breakaway challenge.
I was actually hyped for the breakaway for each one.
What got me in to really watch it was I saw the highlight where PK Subban is interviewing who else but Alexander Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby as they go together. So I pulled it up so that I could watch that moment and watch the moment that followed. And that was probably the best moment in the entire night.
That's true.
Was this event tailored just to get clips like that and they only got one?
Yes. Yes, it was. They tried. Again, I go back to the Mitch Marner thing. That was such a dud. Everything about it was a dud. He even missed the shot.
I have no idea what happened with it. I'm scared to look at it.
He came out on the ice. He's in a white suit and I don't remember what color shirt. Probably blue.
I think it was blue. Yeah, it was
pink or blue.
Okay. Dope.
Yeah.
Pastel, of course.
Had to be because those were the colors. I'm digressing. So he's telling PK Subban, yo, you got the thing? You got the thing? I need the thing. You got the thing? The thing was Roberto Luongo. But they gave it no hype. No, the crowd didn't get into it at all. So Mitch Marner is just standing there going like, where is it? Where's the thing?
That's not Mitch.
No, it's not. Even I know it's not Mitch.
Mitch is a kid who's playing in the NHL.
That's
all you have to do with them. What they have to do for the skills comp is just get these it's almost like they have talented hockey players, let them show off their talents, and PK Subban's job is just to make everything flow together. That's all you have to do. Don't touch it, don't script it, just here's the fastest skaters. PK is going to talk about it. That's it.
Yeah.
It'd be so much better.
I mean, even Pasta's breakaway was pretty good, but nobody is talking about it for whatever reason. Like he did a Happy Gilmore impression, I guess, and Linus was the caddy, and it was pretty good.
That was
funny.
It was
funny.
creative. I liked it.
Akin to the dodgeball from last year.
But the final breakaway with Matthew Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk, Sasha Barkov, and Roberto Luongo, and I think they had a captain from another from like the AHL affiliate, if I'm not mistaken, there as well. I could be wrong, but that was probably the highlight of the evening, next to the Sid Ovi breakaway.
The
Because
Sid Ovi breakaway was good.
It was yeah.
We all needed to see that.
Yes.
But like
sometimes a child is what will
sometimes a child is
save
what
the
you need,
event.
you know.
Yeah.
Saves the league, you know.
Trevor Zegras sure tried to save the event from home. He gave everyone something to talk about.
No, he didn't.
It was something to laugh about while we're.
It was something to
ignoring
laugh
the TV.
about, but it,
Giggle about it for once.
Giggle about it while I'm scrolling Twitter, ignoring what's going on the TV. That's what Trevor Zegras gave us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in terms of some other things that happened during the All-Star game,
the game itself or
the game
skills
itself
comp?
was pretty. I think the Atlantic Division won,
They did.
and Matthew Tkachuk got MVP. He got the car.
He did.
Hooray!
Why did they get a car?
It is a he got some sort of Honda SUV,
It was the blue Honda SUV with the All-Star logo on it.
which is sick because I
He's
can totally
not
see
driving
It's a
that.
cool car.
No, that's the most Matthew Tkachuk car I've ever
It's
heard.
true.
Like Matthew Tkachuk is totally rocking up in that car.
Giving out an SUV. None of these guys drive an SUV.
If anything, the car will probably be donated to charity. I hope.
Yeah.
Like I seriously hope with the contract that Matthew Tkachuk has.
No, Matthew Tkachuk's gonna keep it in his front yard. And just or he's gonna drop it off at his brother's front yard. Just leave it there.
That would be hilarious.
That
would be hilarious. If Matthew Tkachuk in the offseason drove that car from Florida to Ottawa strictly to leave it on his brother's front lawn, I'm all for it. That would be
run over the mailbox and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
run over the
leave it
mailbox,
there.
just honk the horn, park the car, flip him off as you walk off, and then you meet for poutine or whatever. Whatever you do in Ottawa.
They would do that. They would. And Brady would beat the ever-loving shit out of him.
But while we're on the topic of Brady Tkachuk and the All-Star game, bad takes from Devil's Twitter. Bad takes from Devil's Twitter. Here we go. So, Brady Tkachuk, he plays for he played for the U.S. National Development Program. So did Jack Hughes. So, you know, when the Metropolitan Division and the Atlantic Division were playing each other, there was a little bit of extracurricular activity while Jack Hughes was in the slot. Brady Tkachuk kind of pulled him down in what was a rather, I'm not going to say it's a clean play, but it's not the dirtiest thing in the world. It wasn't done with the intent. It clearly wasn't done with the intent to hurt. It was, you're my friend. Screw you. You can't have this fun thing. I'm taking it away from you in an illegal fashion. Like a lot
of people complained about it. I don't know where
I didn't see anybody talk about this at all.
It was the only people complaining about it were Devils fans on Devils Twitter.
Because there was something I saw people saying that it looked like Hughes could have got hurt on that. He did.
Yes, now it ended up Hughes went down and he fell. It did not look like a good fall. So I understand that level of concern. But Jack Hughes is okay. The intent was not to murder him. The intent was not to injure him.
If
the intent was, you're my friend. Don't. No. Just.
Yeah, they're buddies. They're all buddies.
Granted, I've played a bunch of pickup hockey and I played against my friends, and you know, my friends and I sometimes we commit horrible penalties on each other because we know we're okay with it.
Zach is a noted slew footer when he plays pickup hockey.
Oh, 100%.
He comes from behind and just sweeps people's feet out.
No. My thing is I like to joke cross check and use and hold people up on the board with that as a joke.
See, what you got to do is cross check and push their hockey pants down. I learned that. You get away with it.
I've never done that. I've never even thought of that. That's genius.
Refs don't call it, but it's so annoying that they'll move. I used to do that all the time. Just go down. They're looking for this. Go down. But I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I should have bet a Tkachuk.
I'll have to give it a shot, but I don't know. It was Devil's Twitter making a whole lot of something out of nothing.
It's the All-Star game. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
No one's hurt. That's all it should be.
No one's hurt. No one's hurt. Jack Hughes is skating right now. So, huzzah.
And thank goodness he is. We love Jack.
We do.
I also learned Jack Hughes has more personality than I thought he did. Like, he seems
Jack-
like a very
No, he
vibrant
has a lot
guy.
of personality. We love
Jack-
I
Jack.
just
and
never
you
get
know-
to see it.
You never get to see it, and going back to the PK Subban thing, it definitely helped that you had a guy that Jack Hughes shared a locker room with for 3 years. They were they're very comfortable with each other.
3 years? Oh my god.
Yeah, Jack Hughes was drafted in 2019. PK Subban was traded to the Devils in 2019.
Oh, I can't believe it was that long. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
those
that
two
helps.
guys,
That's
those
right.
two guys are obviously at least some level of close. So I was really happy to see that they still have like the kind of chemistry they had during Jack's rookie year. He
Yeah.
even got PK even threw back the Jack Hughes' nickname for Jack Hughes, Jizzy.
That's such a PK.
Right? That's such a PK name. It's
That's
beautiful.
such. For
That's
a
so
while, I had a poster of Sidney Crosby pushing PK Subban's head into the ice in the Stanley Cup final. Do you remember that? Where they made this massive deal about it? I got that as a poster. I thought it was so like I hated PK during that series because he plays the perfect villain when he's
he
playing
does.
against you,
It's beautiful. He plays the absolute perfect villain, and
and the perfect
certain-
good guy.
and he knows how to lean into every moment. I love his personality. Even if he never played for my team, I still loved his personality.
I have a
even when he was
PK
in
Subban
Nashville.
Absolutely.
jersey. Like I have no shame in it. It's
I-
national.
We like
I'm-
PK Subban here.
I may
You're
be going
leaning
back.
there.
I've been playing the game well, but I do plan on owning a PK Subban jersey.
You have to.
Yes, and right now those jerseys that I'm looking for specifically are probably dropping in value, so I'm going to swoop in at the end of the season and pick one up there.
Yeah.
There's still new old stock for his jerseys on like Devil's website, stuff like that. So
Really?
hooray! He was only on the team last year.
He wasn't
was
a
one-
good devil for a bit there.
No, he wasn't.
He
No,
was
he
not a great devil.
He was not a great Devil on the ice. He was a fantastic Devil off the ice. Which is
You could put PK on a team today, and he'd be the best off-ice guy you have
Yeah, exactly.
on every
And
team in the league.
True.
my take was, if you wanted to bring him back for one more year to have him as a third pairing guy this year, that would have been okay with me.
Or
Be-
7th D, even.
Or 7th D. Just
Rotating.
his on-ice presence and having him as a part of your franchise is an overall plus.
How much you want to bet PK Subban downs like a Coors Light in the press box at least once a year? If he's a 7th D. I could see it.
I don't see him as a Coors Light guy, though. I don't.
What do you see him as? Yeah, he's above Coors Light.
I mean,
He's a Bud. He's a Budweiser guy.
I was thinking Labatt.
Oh, you think he's in?
Why are you not going Canada? What is this?
Oh, that's true. Whatever Canadian beers are. I don't know.
I'm hurt on behalf of the entire country, Trevor.
I should be apologizing. I'm wearing a Leafs jersey.
And he's wearing a Leafs jersey.
I know. I wore my Mitch jersey today.
Well, while we're on
do we have to
topic
talk about the other Senators story? Is it time
eventually,
yet to bring this
but
up?
while we're
Okay.
here with
this.
The All-Star game, going back to how poorly executed the skills competition was, there's apparently some drama between Connor McDavid and Nazem Kadri in the shooting accuracy competition.
Yeah.
Because let me put it this way: the people who were running the show did not care enough to make sure that they were, close to the same distance away from the goal. McDavid was clear; it was a few feet further away than Kadri.
Yeah, but it's as my guy in the bar take. Yeah.
Who cares? That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
It's Connor McDavid.
It
If
is
you-
Connor McDavid.
If you just fast a skater, push him another 2 feet back from the start.
Which he hasn't done in 2 or 3 years at this point.
No, I thought this was his first year not doing it.
No, he didn't do it
He
last
did it
year.
last year, I think.
Oh. He specifically asked to not do it this year. He did
Yes.
not want to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Which the NHL really needs to be look at themselves and wonder why is our fastest skater of the best players. There's players that are faster than McDavid. I don't know if you do this, but there are some guys who can skate a little faster.
Wow.
Whoa! I know. But
Yeah,
like,
but some of those guys can't stay on their feet after they reach that
No,
top speed.
they
Shout out
can't
Miles
slow
Wood.
down.
We'll just fly away.
Miles
Actually-
Wood,
Lately, Miles Wood has been able to stay
Like
on his feet.
Kalmakar.
Lately.
Ilya Mikheyev was like that with the Leafs. I think Ottawa's had a guy or two that like really has some wheels. But Connor McDavid this is the fast guy in the league, and he doesn't want to do your fast guy competition. You need to figure out why.
You have to figure out a lot of things.
Just cancel it.
Ultimately, the All-Star Game is a weekend that comes around, and on the fourth year, it used to be that it wouldn't happen because the Olympics were going on.
Yeah.
Now we're at a point where the Olympics will,
It's every year.
the next Winter Olympics are likely going to have NHL players. If
Yeah.
they were to happen next year, there would be
Hopefully.
NHL players there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that is the way the
That would
tide
be
seem to be
ideal.
turning. Because
Yeah. Gary Bettman knows his job's on the line if he doesn't send them.
I mean, they're not going to get rid of him over that. There are a lot of things they're going to get rid of Gary Bettman over.
He'll get it. He'll get in a lot of heat for it at least.
He'll get a lot of heat for
That's
it, but keep in mind, the people who decide whether or not Gary Bettman still has a job are the owners of the league or the team.
Oh, and they don't like the Olympics.
No, they don't. And the whole thing goes back to Johnny Tavares breaking his leg in 2014.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the thing is, I think the players are like willing to go and risk injury.
Oh no, the players.
I think that's the one competition they're willing to get hurt in.
Yes,
outside the
it is.
NHL.
The players for the Olympic stage, they're willing to do whatever it can. They're willing to play for their country. But
Because they all want to be Sidney Crosby in 2010.
True.
which was a great moment if you are
Sounds
not
fun.
an American.
Because like how many guys in the league like watched that as a kid now? Because like we're far enough removed.
I
that
was
they grew up watching Golden Goal.
I was 16 years old when that game happened. I was 16 years old. Just
Zach,
for context.
I was like 9. Feel good?
Yeah, because that was a great night. I was at Deca States. We had every other room had had ordered pizza and wings for the game. So it's
Oh, you
just
told the story, yeah.
So it's just an entire floor, of guys, and there was a group disappointment. A lot of group disappointment.
That's how people bond. Group disappointment. That's why
Yeah.
Leafs fans are so close knit.
I actually haven't been back to since. Anyway.
For anyone not from like his area, we have no idea what that means. But
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bleep that out anyway. But basically, I haven't been to a city not really a city, but a town 2 hours away from me ever since then. So,
Yeah. Fair enough.
but and we're not even done with the.
there's so
All-Star
much content to talk
competition.
about.
There's
this
so much
boring
that they did
weekend.
wrong here. So going back now because
We
this is
have
my
to.
fault.
We
This
have
is my
to
fault.
cover everything.
So Nick Suzuki won the pitch and puck, which
Which was
gives
awful.
you free Chipotle for 1 year. Do you think that he is very appreciative of that?
I think
Yeah, you would think so. You would think.
Hypothetically.
Unfortunately, he's going to be using that a lot on road trips because there is no Chipotle in
Where the
Quebec.
team probably monitors everything he eats on road trips. I don't think many guys are going to Chipotle on road trips.
I mean,
Nathan McKinnon might.
Zach. Zach. The only thing Nathan says about Chipotle is he just goes in there and gets like, can I have like 3 grains of rice? And
No.
then
He doesn't even. No, the 3 grains of rice have too much on it. He goes in there to smell it, and then he's like, "Oh wow, that's too much for me." And
I
he
got all
walks
my
out.
calories.
He does this every
He
4 months.
walks out bloated.
Yes, he walks out. He does this every 4 months.
this is
Yeah.
so hard.
He doesn't actually eat. He goes and smells Chipotle every 4 months. And after he won the State of the
Air
Cup, he
is
allowed himself a fajita pepper. And that was it.
But yeah, I can't tell you how poorly executed this was. But the cherry on top is Nick
That was the
Suzuki
one
winning
thing that
free
sums it up.
Chipotle, and there is just no Chipotle. So like
In the
he's
entire
awkwardly
province. Thanks.
like great, awesome.
Can he give it
Cool.
to someone at least? Does he
I
have like
think
a buddy
so.
that plays
Probably.
for
I
the
would hope
US
so.
team or
I
something?
think so.
I mean, he does have he should have friends from. He is American, right?
I
Yeah,
think
he is.
so.
Yeah.
Give it to one of your friends that did get drafted to the NHL. That like it doesn't matter if he eats Chipotle.
We could give it to
Give it
Robo.
to him. Don't you dare give it to Robertson. I want Robertson eating as healthy as possible.
I say, what is wrong with Chipotle, sir?
Chipotle isn't exactly unhealthy. I mean,
yeah, no, it's great.
It's perfectly healthy to eat every day.
Yeah,
it's great for your stomach
just
lining.
maybe don't get a burrito every day and you'll be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe switch the rice for some lettuce. A few days, switch it up. Less carbs.
Okay. So
is that it for the All-Star game?
That's it for the All-Star game. But during the All-Star week or break, well, not really the All-Star break. The Devils had their 5-day bye, so before the All-Star game, so no games were played. A lot of the players,
together, isn't
it was a weird timing, but I'm sure it works out. I'm sure
Stars did it too. Yeah, I'm
sure no one on the Devils who didn't make the All-Star game was complaining because their vacation was more or less doubled.
I saw players on the Stars the last night of before the break. The next morning they were in the Bahamas. They were so ready to go. Scott Wedgwood was in Idaho within 12 hours of me seeing him. Saying it was in the Bahamas.
Peace.
They were gone, man.
Yeah, I don't blame them. Definitely want to get your vacation in. Maybe even have a few drinks with the boys.
The boys.
So, Devils assistant coach Andrew Brunette, who you may recall last year took over for John Quenneville of the Florida Panthers. Joel Quenneville, not John Quenneville. Joel Quenneville, excuse me. Yes. John Quenneville is I don't know where he is, but he might still be playing hockey. Took over for Joel Quenneville. He helped the team maintain whatever level of production. They won the President's Trophy. They hired Paul Maurice instead. He comes up to New Jersey as assistant coach. During the bye week, he, an officer observed him take a shot, and then he got into a golf cart and drove.
No, that's not the full story. The full story is better than that.
Please go on with the full story. Because
have either of you heard it?
I've heard. I think I've heard a majority of the full story,
okay.
but I was.
So he got written up for illegally parking a golf cart outside of a bar, and he complained. He said, I'm just leaving." So he went in to get his wife.
Okay.
15 minutes later, comes back, gets back in the golf cart, drives away, and is immediately given a second citation for driving it under the influence. In Florida.
Interesting.
I think.
No, it was in Florida. Yeah.
It was in Florida because I don't remember reading that I was in Florida.
Somewhere near.
Judging by the story, I assumed golf cart illegally parked at a bar. That's Florida.
That's Florida.
Where else do you go where you can park a golf cart at a bar?
Right.
Where can you go to park a golf cart at a bar?
What states can you just drive golf carts? Florida.
So, right now, Andrew Brunette is with the team. I'm guessing there will be some level of suspension dealt with once the criminal proceedings are done, if you will.
Once he goes back to the locker room, someone's going to look at him and go, "Damn right, bud. That's funny."
Oh, my God. He is getting... if I know an NHL locker room, that man is getting roasted alive. Roasted alive.
What player on the Devils is making fun of him the most? Why is it Miles Wood?
Why is it Miles Wood?
Because Jack Hughes is that's really irresponsible. It's so.
No, Jack Hughes is too low key to really give him a lot of crap for it. I feel like.
Where's Dougie stand on it?
True.
Oh, Dougie, I could see being rather vocal about that.
Dougie would be a little annoyed.
I want PK Subban to actually be at practice for the Devils today. I want him to really. I know he would be. Yeah, He would be unrelenting. It'd be great.
How much better is the All-Star game if Kachuk gets the golf cart instead of the SUV? The NHL went and took his golf cart and the winner got it.
That would have been better. That would have been more entertaining. That would have been much better. I feel like without, I don't know.
And they don't tell them. They just
I feel as though people are stupid and people would absolutely, especially NHL players, I feel like they would absolutely play harder if there was a golf cart on the line over a car.
And Andrew Brunette's DUI golf cart, especially.
I mean, that if so facto.
Jack Hughes wants it. Jack Hughes wants it because he's going to.
Jack Hughes wants it, but I do at the same time feel like the jokes about the NHL having their MVP prize being a used golf cart. I can also see the memes for that one, and that'd be just great. Quite frankly, this All-Star game as a whole, that was what the MVP should have been worth, a used golf cart.
Yep.
Like there's just nothing good that I can say about the actual event proceedings. Fans enjoyed themselves. Miami's a fun time.
Miami's a great
Sometimes.
time. Sometimes, yeah.
But yeah, Andrew Burnett with the DUI.
I'm just glad to see someone affiliated with the NHL having some personality. Because that's funny. Like,
I wouldn't call it personality per se.
no boring person gets in trouble for this. No boring person gets 2 separate citations with the same golf cart within 15 minutes.
Trevor's kind of right there because
That's
I
kinda
feel like there's a base level of you're an interesting person if you've taken a golf cart to a bar or establishment that's not on a golf course.
Yeah. Right.
Like driving it on main roads. That's
NHL player, if they get a DUI, they're driving like a Camaro or something. They're hammered. They're doing something stupid. No, Andrew Burnett goes above and beyond and makes it interesting and funny. And I respect him for it.
Well, this is the only way it would be funny, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no. Any other way is pathetic and it should be looked down upon. But how much damage is he going to do with the golf cart? He's going to hit a pole. He's going to
Don't put that out there. Don't put that out in the world. How much damage can one do with a golf cart? Trevor,
that's a competition. The next All-Star.
The answer that is a question that shouldn't be answered. I'm putting my foot down. Just no, that should not be answered. God help us all. God help us all. Okay.
Next year at the All-Star game, golf cart demolition derby.
So
sponsored by Andrew Burnett.
In other NHL coaching news, the Ottawa Senators have fired their AHL coach Todd Mann after he allegedly shared information, some believe to be scouting reports, with other NHL teams, which is just
NHL or AHL teams.
Well, no, NHL teams. He was the AHL coach who shared scouting material with other NHL teams. Which to me means he probably could have sent it to the AHL guys and he fed it to a different franchise that he is not employed by. Because at the end of the day, if you're an employer, if you're the coach of the AHL Senators, technically speaking, your employer is the NHL Senators.
It wasn't the coach; it was the GM,
assistant coach. Oh, it was a GM.
Yes, is it Trent Mann?
I thought it was Todd.
Is that the name?
No, Troy.
Yeah.
Troy. Oh, there's so many Manns. Troy Mann. Because they have a Trent Mann that is their assistant GM.
Yeah, no, Troy Mann was relieved of his duties as team's head coach. Trevor, what?
They have 2 Manns then.
We're
uncovering something bigger.
It was pre-scouting material.
Regardless,
it was their coach. That's on me.
Yep. Yeah. Regardless of his position, which was coach, what was shared were things that obviously the Ottawa Senators did not want other NHL teams to have.
Which is their right.
Fair enough.
It is their right.
It's they acquired that information probably in-house, therefore it's their information.
Yes, 100%. But
do you think there's what are the odds that Troy Mann was expecting some data back from a team for this?
That's what I'm saying. What are the odds that this was the first time he's done that? What are the actual odds that this is the first time he has really done that?
Tip of the iceberg? Is there going to be more coming from this?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'll be honest, I'm still looking into it a little bit, but
not a lot came out about it. It was very quick news.
Very quick. The team wanted to gloss over it, but I don't know. The glossing over makes it feel like something that it could have been maybe bigger, maybe involving more teams. Who knows?
They're putting a fire out before more gets up.
Yes.
Ottawa. Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see if any more news comes out of that situation. Right now, David Bell has taken over as the interim head coach for the Senators, and they are continuing business as usual.
What team got it? I want to know so much about this, and it's information they will never release.
No, they will never be able to release it.
The littlest information out there possible.
Zach, there's also a big news story I forgot to put in our Google Doc that people are calling the biggest story no one's talking about in sports. Can we bring it up? Bally's bankrupt. No one's talking. So there's like 12 or 15
Bally Sports. Yeah, that's right.
He's bankrupt. So like there's like 12 NHL teams that are covered by Bally on television. A few Major League Baseball.
Isn't it the southern ones mostly?
Carolina, Tampa, Dallas, Arizona, Los Angeles. They're supposed to pay over like $1 billion interest payment.
Oh no.
Yeah, Zach. This is a big story, and no one's talking about it.
So what happens now?
So I work closely with a team that's covered by Bally. It's not good. I think the teams are afraid of this could really hurt them on television.
Probably.
Personally, I don't like Bally at all. I don't think they've done a good job with the NHL rights.
I only really watch the NHL Network.
I don't have the NHL Network.
And
that is another thing. The NHL Network sucks.
Other things.
But if you live in the region of the Dallas Stars and you do not have direct TV, you cannot watch the Dallas Stars. That is the only thing Bally's on.
That is absurd.
So I had to buy a VPN to then get around the blackouts to watch Dallas Stars games on ESPN Plus. And there's more markets in the same boat. Some people are thinking that this is big enough that it could affect the cap, and some teams may be without a television home.
That is definitely what I would describe as a problem.
It's it's not being talked about at all. And
yeah,
especially
I heard a little bit about it, but nobody's really been discussing it.
No, this is the first time hearing about it at all. And
it will affect Major League Baseball. It's going to affect the NBA. And there's like, I forget the exact number, but like I think it's $1 billion interest payment that they're just not. No, it can't be $1 billion.
Why are they bankrupt? Like, why are they going bankrupt?
They just can't pay the interest payment. Like, and so they're preparing just to go under. I don't know how the money dried up. They haven't been around that long.
I just want to make sure that I'm reading this correctly here, because I'm seeing someone Diamond in November disclosed a $1.2 billion quarterly loss amid a 10% drop in subscribers. I'm trying to figure out what that means, but that is
it's awful, and it's really bad, especially for these, because Bally covers a lot of these untraditional markets. They do Dallas, they do Tampa, they do Arizona, and those are teams that really need to be on television as much as possible. Really, I think the team that's going to get screwed over a lot is Dallas, who doesn't get a lot of national TV coverage. They should, but they don't. And they're really, really working hard and campaigning to grow their market and their reach across the state. And then all of a sudden, it was very sudden, all the news, that they're not on TV, or there's a chance they won't be. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of coverage showing it's actually going to happen, but it's definitely a news story to keep an eye out on. Zach, I don't know if you're seeing any more information than what I've just heard.
Okay, so I'm sort of mapping it together now. So the owner of the entire group is Diamond Sports Group LLC, and they're suffering a decline in cable subscribers. So
cable,
yeah, they own. They are a part, or they operate the Sinclair firm, which is who owns Bally Sports.
Yes. So, for people unfamiliar with broadcasting, I studied communications enough to know that Sinclair owns most of the television. That's that's the easiest way to look at it. Sinclair
is one of the largest broadcasting
companies, I guess what you would call them. I don't know.
I would go entity, because they're larger than a company at this point. They're one of the larger broadcasting entities on the continent, and we're in the billions of dollars here in terms of the losses and in the hole that they seem to be in right now.
Yeah. And let's say that they do need to shave some off of these sports rights deals, because the rights to show sports is a valuable asset. If they're going to cut Major League Baseball, NBA, or the NHL screwed.
The NHL is screwed. The MLB has the support system within itself to where they can actually probably recover and maybe even take a few of those local networks for themselves and just have it operate under the MLB.
If the NHL is smart, and I don't have any faith that they are, they just go ESPN, just like do what you need to do to get them under your belt. And put as much on ESPN as you can.
In my opinion, that is the dumb thing for them to do.
Really? Because, what do you think?
So by defaulting to ESPN, you're putting yourselves in the situation where if I were in the same sense where you have to have DirecTV to have the network for Dallas Stars, Bally.
Yeah.
I have to have some sort of cable plan in order to get the Madison Square Garden network. So I can watch not only Devils games, but also Knicks, Rangers, the whole slew.
Yeah, they're all in one.
A thing, yeah.
They don't have standalone services. The only way to do it is through DirecTV, Cablevision, or Verizon Fios, whichever one, and it's not even guaranteed that they always are on good terms with them. Cable channels are always fighting, negotiating. It's just constant.
Now, can you purchase the MSG network as a streaming thing?
No.
So you actually can do that with Bally. So if I wanted to, I can pay to get Dallas Stars, Mavericks, Wings, and I believe the Spurs are on there as well.
And it's great that you have that option because if you were to just
how much do you think it costs though?
Probably $100
for a year. 170.
170, yeah.
No one's paying that.
But at the same time, you also have to. They've got the market. The market's cornered. What else are you going to do?
Yeah, VPN.
Exactly, and a lot of networks if I were to drop cable and go exclusively on ESPN for my hockey, ESPN, TNT, whatever, that doesn't help me because my games are blocked out locally on ESPN. So you need to find a workaround for that before you can really consider.
The blackout laws hold back sports. They don't work anymore.
Exactly.
Every sport is held back by them.
So the blackout laws are what's going to, in my opinion, if the NHL does do what you say and go to ESPN, do what you have to do, the blackout laws make that the dumbest possible thing they can do.
So if blackout laws are national, right?
National. It's not ESPN's fault that these blackout laws exist. I need that.
So there's no
clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame. Because it was already hard for people to watch hockey. It is so hard for people that want to follow their team. Because even if you buy ESPN Plus, I don't have access to all of the Leafs games that I want to watch because sometimes they go on NHL Network. NHL Network is not an easy channel to get.
No.
It is a pain.
And that is almost as expensive as Bally right there.
Yeah. Why? So, how come when they went to ESPN and TNT, the NHL Network just didn't morph into ESPN? Why is it still its own thing?
For the same reason that the MLB Network is its own thing, for the same reason the NBA TV exists, for the same reason the NFL Network exists.
You can get MLB Network on so much more than you can the NHL Network.
Which is funny because the MLB Network and NHL Network they're the same. It is the same studio.
Yeah.
In Secaucus, New Jersey.
Yeah. It's painful the way you have to watch hockey.
It is.
Maybe your viewership's down because everyone has to use sketchy streaming websites to watch a single damn game.
Maybe viewership's down because games aren't accessible. And
exactly.
The Bally Sports going bankrupt, that is not looking good for NHL accessibility. I'm not worried because there will be MLB networks, NBA teams that are also affected by this.
The Dallas Mavericks, for example, here.
Yes, but I'm not worried about
it's the NBA.
I'm not worried about the NBA's plan for a contingency. I'm not even worried about the MLB's contingency plan. I don't think the NHL has one.
No. And they need to sit down now and figure out because you can't just not put them on TV.
Sure you can. Why not?
Okay, so I think the number for NHL teams is 12. You think the NHL would be okay with just 12 teams not being on TV?
Oh yeah, totally fine. I mean,
their own
100%. No, 100%. The NHL is fine with whatever. Will the league play? Will the Stanley Cup get handed out?
Yep.
Are any players getting unnecessarily hurt?
Nope.
NHL's in great standing. We're doing great. Everything's fine. Everything's fine here. We're going to hand out the Stanley Cup in our 5,000 seat arena in Arizona, and everything is going to be just dandy.
It's going to be like that Blackhawks owner that wouldn't allow home games to be televised until the mid '80s.
Bruh.
Does anyone remember? Like this is a real thing.
No,
Natasha, you not heard this.
No.
My favorite. Oh God, this goes so deep because this goes back to like you're talking mid '80s here, decades ago, and at around that time, that was when the owner of the St. Louis Blues home arena was the Chicago Blackhawks owner. You can't make this up.
The NHL was a mess for a long time.
I mean,
and we talked about how dysfunctional the NHL is right now and how much of a mess it is. This is the cleanest cut it's ever been, and it's not close.
That's true.
The Mafia once owned the Rangers for a long, extended period of time. That is a
If
real
you go back to that era.
You know what? With what's his name that owns the Rangers now, we're not that far.
Which is actually how I got into this, because I was trying to find a solution for Rangers fans when James Dolan inevitably stops selling alcohol at Rangers games.
Yeah.
Go listen to the last episode.
Yeah. Problem. James Dolan owns the New York Rangers. James Dolan also owns Madison Square Garden. So James Dolan, in negotiating with James Dolan, made it so that the New York Rangers cannot play a home game anywhere except for Madison Square Garden. So
yeah, that was a dumb idea. Yeah,
you're screwed. You're screwed. You're going to have to be at a home Rangers game without alcohol. I tried to find a workaround, but I was shot down immediately.
There is none. It's James Dolan.
No, there is none.
Don't you just love talking about television deals and where teams can play? It's just a whole mess.
It is a whole mess, but it's
not a conversation with any other league.
No, but it's an important mess, and it's an important conversation because that directly affects how games are going to be played, officiated. It directly affects how it all. It's a trickle down. It affects everyone, whether you realize it or not.
The last time the NHL had problems with television streaming is when they went on Outdoor Life Network as their primary
Outdoor Life Network. For those of you who are unfamiliar,
is now NBC Sports.
Yes, it became Versus for a while, and Versus. It was not easy to find, but Versus was awesome. I loved the Versus games.
And so I actually tried to write a book at one point about this, and it didn't work, but I did a ton of research about how the NHL had this big ESPN deal lined up, and then there's lockout. They go on Outdoor Life Network, and they're still recovering.
They haven't.
The highest paid players have not started making more yet since then.
This is not even a hot take. The NHL is still dealing with the repercussions of the 2004-2005 lockout.
Are they still dealing with the repercussions of the 95 one? Could you make that argument? Did they ever recover from that?
You could, but
it's harder.
It's harder because you have to remember it's not like the entire season was canceled that year. The entire season was canceled in 2005. It was the first year the Stanley Cup wasn't awarded in damn near 90 years.
1919 was last season before them. So and
1919, for those of you who are unaware, the NHL was not awarding the Stanley Cup because there was the Spanish flu.
Well, yeah, they got halfway through the Stanley Cup final and all the players got sick, so they had to cancel it.
Yes,
that's actually what happened. Like half the players got sick,
and that's a legit reason.
Yeah, that's a good reason. The 05 lockout was. I'm glad we had this tangent. This was not scheduled at all, but it was a good one to have. Like the 05 lockout severely destroyed the NHL.
Yeah, 100%.
Of course.
100%.
There are players who were advocates for what should have happened afterwards that completely got blacklisted and like had careers ruined because they fought for what they thought the NHL should be, that had trouble ever making a team again. I'm blanking on names, but I've heard examples of guys that were fighting for soft cap and just kind of got blacklisted afterwards. Because it was the NHLPA that did all this. I didn't think this guy in the Leafs that had trouble ever getting a job again. Jeremy Rennick is a advocate for what we have now, and we all hate him for it. Like it's people. I've been asked by a friend of mine, how come football's so popular and baseball's so popular, basketball's so popular, and hockey is like the forgotten of the four? It's because of this mess. When I was in 05.
Yep. 100%.
It's the main reason. And like you could kind of make the argument that like, sorry, Zach, the Devils did slow down the growth of hockey. They did.
I mean,
They know.
They slowed down the national interest in it. It was a boring game of hockey, 100%.
For 10 years. It was awful. For 10 years. It was unwatchable. Connor McDavid has already scored more points this season than most of the scoring race leaders did during that period. And we're at the All-Star break.
Yep.
That's embarrassing.
Yep. I mean, Jack Hughes with like 60 points would have been one of the top scorers.
Scoring race, like at
Almost,
one point.
Yeah, it was not. The scoring was not high during that era of hockey. Blame the Devils all you want, but it was a league-wide thing.
The Devils were a trendsetter, and then everyone overcorrected to just suffocating, slow hockey.
And then a big point that the league wanted to have was they wanted to open up the scoring, and you heard that a lot over the last few years. They wanted to open up the scoring after the lockout.
Yeah.
They managed to do that. 100%. They managed to do
that.
By
just creating more penalties. That's how they did it.
Yeah, they put a trapezoid behind Martin Brodeur and said, "You can't leave here." And he said, "But," and they said, "Nope, that's it."
Yeah, and they started actually calling the rules. That's another thing that changed with the lockout. Is they're like, "Oh yeah, there's a penalty called hooking. I guess we should start calling that now."
Hooking's always been a penalty, whether or not they believed in calling it or not is
up for debate. There's a big crackdown after that lockout because they wanted more power plays to score more. If you look at power plays per game, it spikes in 2006 and then slowly comes back down. And you can see the years when they have the meetings with the refs to start calling, it spikes every few years. Or like interference, or the one year that they cracked down on face-off violations and it just spiked for some reason.
That was like last year or the year before.
Was that last year?
Very
last year's interference or something. Yeah.
Although, how did we get to a point where Sidney Crosby was able to just remove or dismember Mark Mathoth's finger?
Yeah, no, that as a Sidney Crosby fan, that he should have been suspended a long time.
Where's the crackdown on that? That's what I want.
Yeah.
Where's the crackdown on I don't think Mark Mathoth said, "Hey Sid, I really don't like this finger. Can you just help me out here?" I don't think Mark Mathoth said that.
Also, we want to make it clear, Sidney Crosby did not intentionally chop off Mark.
Oh God, no, he did not do that intentionally. He did not do that.
No, Sidney Crosby has done. He's had some plays with high sticks that don't look great. Sidney Crosby does not do that intentionally. He's not a dirty player.
If I need to get one slashing penalty, if I need a good slash, I'm putting this player out on the ice and I need him to slash the other team, get a really good slash on him, maybe even Sidney Crosby, 100%. That's my number one overall pick in terms of the all-time NHL slashers.
He's good at it. He's good. He's
great. He's the best.
There's no intent to injure, but man, is
no. I think he's the type of player where if he actually intended to hurt someone with his slash, he wouldn't do it.
Oh,
I think there would be a mental block, I'm trying to hurt someone, and it would just disconnect.
If Sidney Crosby tried to hurt people would have to wear the gloves that go down to their elbows again, and they're just metal plates that they used to wear, just protect your forearms because Sidney Crosby is going to cut it in half.
What a time to be alive!
What a time!
Oh God.
Do we want to do your Connor McDavid bit, Zach? Or whoever put this in.
That's not my bit.
This is Natasha's bit?
Who else would put that in?
Yeah, no, I did my bit's at the very end of that.
So the bit is, what's the best nickname for Connor McDavid that you've heard / used? We have a bit of a list here. Fellas, go ahead.
Well, the actual nickname that I've heard that just kind of stands, the answer is clearly McJesus, because that's just what it goes around the league. That's the one that seems to have stuck.
McSavior.
I haven't heard that one. That's better than McJesus. I like that better.
I have seen that around.
I don't know.
I like mine, Connor McWhitebread, because I
like mine personally. Connor McNeeds to leave Edmonton.
Amen. It would help the NHL if Connor McDavid leaves Edmonton.
It would help Connor McDavid if he left Edmonton.
Everyone's happy if Connor McDavid leaves Edmonton. I mean, even Edmonton, because they'll get more first overall picks they can mess up.
If Connor McDavid leaves Edmonton, he might actually develop a personality, and I don't think we're ready for that.
Could you imagine Connor McDavid on the Rangers? Or any real market in the States? Okay, let's not do Rangers.
About it. That makes me sick.
Los Angeles. Let's repeat history.
No.
Honestly,
Send him to the Kings.
Honestly, I
Honestly.
could see that happening though.
no. LA is a city that could work for Connor McDavid. I don't think.
Oh, him and the lights,
Could you
man.
imagine?
I don't think,
I think
New
he-
York. I don't think any part of New York, Boston, New Jersey would do well for Connor McDavid. I just don't
True.
think.
And
too
we don't want
mean.
him either.
I don't think that's a good fit.
No, LA though, where you're a star, but you're not the star. You're still
No,
behind the
LA
Lakers.
works. LA works.
Yeah.
I think he works more on the West Coast. I don't know why. I don't have a good reason
He
for
could be an
why.
Anaheim Duck.
No,
No, not Anaheim.
God, no, no.
Okay.
We
Which-
need Connor McDavid on a big market team.
Yeah.
And like Edmonton is a good sized market, but it's Canadian, so it kind of comes down a bit in the eyes of the NHL.
Oh, yeah.
They do. They do. Connor McDavid is a Leaf, which it's never gonna happen. There's no reason for it to happen, but like it will destroy the NHL.
This is the
Like,
Toronto centric part of the podcast for sure.
it's a weekly
Connor
tradition.
McDavid to Toronto.
Hey, we
yeah,
all know that the NHL revolves around Toronto anyway, so
which is why
And
Connor
so
McDavid can't go
if-
there.
that's what it is.
if McDavid joins the Leafs, does he play on Matthews' wing or does he go to the second line?
Stop.
Connor McDavid's fourth line on the Leafs.
Stop it.
And why does John Tavares like compete with for his spot with him?
Stop. Stop.
So
If Connor
true.
McDavid joins the Leafs as currently constructed, John Tavares is your fourth line center. I'm done.
Yeah, probably.
That might be true. Yeah.
Don't
Which
ask
winger
me who the
does he
third
get?
line
Does
center
he
would
get?
be.
Does he
Please
get
don't ask me who the
Mitch?
third line
or
center would be.
David Camp.
Sure. He's a guy who's probably on the Leafs. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, he's a great Leaf. I don't want to hear about it. Yeah, Connor McDavid is Connor McWhitebread, the most boring superstar.
Connor
Ever.
McChicken.
Connor McBoiled chicken.
Who wrote some of these? Was this you?
This
Trevor,
is all
did you
her.
write all of these after McChicken?
No, I only did McWhitebread. That's the
You
only
only did
one I put on
McWhitebread?
my
Okay,
list.
I only did McNeeds to leave Edmonton.
Yeah,
so
the
that
rest of
means
them are
that
mine.
Connor McChicken, Connor McDelay of game, Connor McDonald's, Connor McDaddy, Connor McGolf course,
McWhitebread.
and Connor
Oh,
McLovin.
yeah.
Natasha, you gave us this many.
Hey,
6.
Connor McLovin is a good one though. I've heard that.
That
one.
is. I do like Connor McLovin.
You can't really hate on
Superbad's
Superbad.
fantastic.
Yeah, you can't hate
It's
on
such a good
Superbad.
movie.
That one gets a pass.
All hail
the others are
Connor
awful.
McDelay of game.
You just made that up. No one's ever called him.
That was during the playoffs though. So,
Fun.
Did you think one delay game penalty and someone called him that and got a bunch of likes on Twitter?
yeah.
That's all that is.
My God.
I think I'll
hate
stick
Connor
with Connor McWhitebread though. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I thought I was creative for that one.
He's
That
got
was,
I'm
less
not letting-
personality than a slice of bread though. That's true.
Connor McRye toast. Let's go. Connor McRye
no,
toast.
rye toast has too much flavor.
Connor
There's-
potato chip.
You guys, I don't know, man. You guys just don't see the potential in Connor McDavid as a person. I think that could
What
be-
potential? There is
I
no
think-
potential.
I think that he could be like, he could act in movies opposite Wayne Gretzky's daughter or wife, who are both actresses. I think he could do that.
Okay.
Imagine Connor McDavid as Hamlet. That'd be perfect.
No.
Yeah, force him to show emotion on his face.
Connor McDavid should join the Hamilton cast.
For emotional training? Or just vocal training?
Yeah.
Well, not really emotional, but acting.
We're gonna put Connor McDavid in the next production of Tick Tick Boom just so he feels something.
Oh
for
my
once.
God.
We're going to send Connor McDavid to sleepaway acting camp so that he can maybe play a tree in Into the Woods.
So he can fully understand why Leon Draisaitl was so pissy. So he could.
If we send Leon Draisaitl to that camp in Into the Woods, he's Little Red Riding Hood.
They should make a musical solely based off of the Leon Draisaitl pissy interview.
Zach, I pray that none of this end of the episode gets cut. I want this all to make the final episode.
At this point, like,
I want no cuts out of this episode.
do you understand
Not
how
one.
much work that would be at this point? Like, to try and put together some sort of like normal semblance of coherent thoughts that we've just spewed out?
That's
No.
why it's so fun, is because someone can feel like they're
Let
a
there be
part of it.
incoherence.
Yes,
You're part of
it's
the
at the
club.
end of the episode. We stayed structured for so long. Okay, we did an okay job today, staying structured, and the end was just anything we want, and I'm fine with that.
Honestly, we needed to talk about whatever the hell we wanted to after being forced at gunpoint to talk about the All-Star Weekend.
We should like Zach. Could you like put a mark on the video of like if you want to see us having fun recording, skip to this point. So if you just
I'll find a way. I'll find a way.
Yeah.
I'll find a way.
Yeah,
I will find a way.
Okay. We'll save Zach's Dunkin' Donuts bit for the next episode, I think.
Yeah. We have to. I forgot about that.
Today.
Oh my god.
No. I want at the beginning of next week's episode.
Okay.
Incentive to tune in for next week. If you want to hear about how I
cosplayed as a Bostonian.
Yeah, that's the word that I'm not going to say. But yeah, I did something to that effect apparently, and I got heavily rewarded for it. It was a great time.
And the picture's fantastic. I'm gonna get it printed.
10 out of 10 picture.
I appreciate.
My girlfriend said when we get our apartment, we can keep that framed.
Oh, that's beautiful. I just want you guys to know that putting on that smile, I absolutely terrified the Dunkin' Donuts social media guy who was taking that picture to the point where every photo that like every person that posed next to the cups, like he took a photo for them and then for social media. He did not take a photo for social media with me. Let's go.
Why?
Because of the face I had on, Natasha.
The face is the best part.
Because I went up there like dead stone face, like and it's cold, whatever. Like I didn't have a smile on my face when I asked him to take the picture, and then I just went right into that.
Yeah.
It was.
We'll tell the full story next week. We're giving away too much.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, I believe that is my cue to sign off. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Please tune in next week. Give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter. And yes, next week we're going to talk about Dunkin' Donuts. Until then, guys, take care.